My name is Perez, and today I want to talk a little bit about the difference between lust and love. I want to talk about it biblically, and I also want to apply my own experiences. I know that this isn't usually my regular set. Usually I have my, TV in the background, but I just wanted to kind of sit down and I just wanted to have a real talk with you guys about what I think about this subject and kind of how it's helped me a little bit. I've been getting a lot of questions online about like lust, about love, about relationships, about a lot of different topics, especially when it comes to homosexuality, because this is like a huge thing in homosexuality, which is just like, why can't I be with the person that I love? And in order for me to answer that question, I first need to answer what your definition of love is. Like, I need to understand what your definition of love, because my definition of love might be very different. So I'm just here to educate mostly Christians. I'm not even really here to educate the world, because I'm not really expecting that the world is going to watch these videos or that they're even going to listen to these videos. I mean, some people who don't have Jesus might just, like, by watching this video might be turned on to this topic or the education behind it. But I think my main mission here is to educate people who have Christ, who know Jesus, who want to be involved more in a relationship with Jesus Christ. But they're kind of confused as to how they can give up same-sex desires or same-sex attractions, and how they can focus on their relationship with the Lord, and what is the difference between love and lust. So here's the difference. Okay, when I say this, and this is really controversial, but I came from a homosexual lifestyle, so I'm not going to be speaking about something that I don't have any experience in, and I'm still dealing with on a day-to-day basis, which is just my same-sex attraction, which I struggle with. Obviously, it's not as much as a struggle today as it was 2 years ago when I first came to Christ, but every day is a new day, and every day is an opportunity to struggle with something. And any Christian that tells you otherwise is lying, because 1 John tells us that there is no one who is sinless. So, but I want to talk about this issue because I know that there are people out there who are genuinely very confused. And so and I have my experiences that the Lord has walked me through that has been able to carefully curate like certain circumstances and experiences in my life to help really shine light on this. And so let's get into it. I think about a year or 2 years ago, I was in the shower. This is kind of weird, but I was in the shower, and I was thinking about the concept of love, and I was thinking about the concept of lust, and I was thinking about it biblically, because Jesus is like, you have to love your enemies. Love seems to be this beautiful thing. Like, God is love, he's light, he's salt, he's all these different things, right? So I was thinking to myself, okay, so why can't I love someone else? Like, why can't I love someone who is of the same sex of the same sex? And I was just sitting there not sitting, but standing in the shower. And I was thinking to myself, oh, God, help me to understand the reason behind why I can't love someone who's of the same sex. And the Lord really brought to me, he's like, first off, what you're thinking and what you're confusing of love is actually lust. And here's the problem, is that this world, it's not just for homosexuality, it's also for heterosexuality. And I always want to bring that up, because I feel like sometimes homosexuality gets such a bad rep and heterosexuality doesn't get a bad rep at all. And I'm here to tell you that it's the same exact thing. Like, if you're walking without Christ, you're walking without Christ. It doesn't matter if you're doing it homosexually, or if you're doing it heterosexually, you're walking without Christ. So I'm here to speak on both, not just one. And so the Lord was speaking to me, and he told me there's a difference between love and there's a difference between lust. I'm going to tell you, lust, first and foremost, lust is all about the desire for yourself. It's all about how I can please myself. It's all about how I can pleasure myself. I actually researched the word in Greek that is used in the Bible, because we have the actual translation from the Bible, if you didn't know. Just another reason for people to really trust in the word of God. And the word is epumethea, I believe. I'm probably saying it wrong, but you can research it for yourself. Whenever that word lust comes up in the New Testament, you'll see this word epumethea. And so this word is essentially a craving or longing and a desire. So I don't know what happened in America or what happened in our Western society that helped us to kind of think that love is a desire, a craving, and a longing. because for 2,000 years ago, love was not a desire, it was not a feeling, it was not a longing, and it was not a craving. That was lust. That was a worldly passion. Those were desires. And every time that desires are brought up in the Bible, it's not in a good way. Like it's never in a good way. Like every time that desires or lust or longings or anything, it's mostly usually when people aren't trusting in God, when people aren't walking by faith. So I was thinking all of this was happening while I was in the shower, and I was thinking to myself, okay, Lord, I see this. Wow, I've never seen that, like this is lust, like a feeling, a longing, a desire. This is lust, right? Okay, so I know that the Bible says that lust is wrong, right? Okay, so then what is love, God? What does love look like? And God was telling me essentially, love is what I did for you on the cross. Love is something that is not a feeling. Love is something that is hard. Love is something that is patient. If you go to First Corinthians chapter 13, I always reference this chapter a lot in pretty much all the podcasts that I do and YouTube videos. I always talk about First Corinthians chapter 13 because I feel like, number one, Paul said it was the greatest tool. And if it's the greatest tool, I feel like we should be magnifying it all the time. And rarely ever do we talk about 1 Corinthians chapter 13 and what love is, what love actually looks like, how it's meek, how it's gentle, how it's kind, how it's patient. So all these different things, how it perseveres, in the face of adversity, all these different things. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, so Jesus, what did you do on the cross? How did you show me that was love? And what Jesus did on the cross was essentially, he gave his own life for his enemies and also for the people that he loved. He did something that was extremely uncomfortable. And I can even start crying thinking about it, because when he was walking down the Via Dolorosa, he was being spit at, he was beaten. It said that he was beaten by over, I believe, a legion of different Roman soldiers. And, he had to endure so much uncomfortability, so much pain, so much bad things. And so when the world depicts love, it's like this passionate thing. It's like two people, they meet in a cafe and they're like, I'm so attracted to you and I love you. And then they get into the apartment and they throw themselves against the wall and they make out and they have sex and they love it. And then they smoke a cigarette after. Like, we're like, oh wow, what a beautiful love story. Or two people who have both of their self-interest in mind. Like, I was recently just watching a television show, and on the television show, the couple broke up because one person wanted to do one thing and the other person wanted to do another thing. And then they're like, you know what? I love you, but my career is more important. And I'm just like, what the heck? What is this idea of love that we have? Like, this is not love. This is not what the Bible teaches us. Love is self-sacrificing. That means if I love you, forget about my career, forget about what I've got going on in my job. Like, you're more important than me. And that's what Jesus was doing on the cross. Jesus on the cross was like, you guys are more important than my own life. So I'm going to give up my own life so that you can be restored to the Father. And that's the gospel. That's the good news. So when I think about love and when I think about lust, and when I got out of the shower that day, I was like crying in the mirror of my vanity. And I was thinking, wow, I finally get it. I get it. Like, the difference between love and lust. Like, I understand. I know what love and lust means. I finally get it. And I went out to talk to my parents and I told them the same thing. I'm like, I understand like the difference between love and lust. And so that's why I believe here today, and why I'm making a video, is why two people, they cannot claim to be in love if they're just using each other for their own pleasures, if they're using each other for their own completeness, because love is it far exceeds that. If I say that I love someone based off of feeling, based off of a desire, based off of longing, based off of completeness, based off because I'm lonely, or because I feel like you're going to contribute something to my life, that's not love. That, my friend, is lust. And so that's pretty much all that I have to say on the topic. And I think it's time for us as Christians to wake up and to realize, okay, is this love or is this lust? And lust can come in many forms, not just in sexual desire. It can come in food. It can come in so many different areas. Anything that is just pleasurable, that is selfish in nature. And that's pretty much all I have to say. Thank you for watching my video. I appreciate it. Bye.